Good morning again. Ann and I, my wife, we absolutely, I guess it's a sign of we're getting older. We love commercials. You know, most of the TV shows we can do without. But I'm serious. We rate them. We should probably be taking notes on commercials. We like the clever ones, the funny ones. We like the ones that have high production values. Now, you think about it. The difficulty that it would take to write a good commercial. I mean, they're short. They have 30 seconds, okay? 30 seconds at the most. And they got to tell a story. And we're creatures of story. You know, we love stories. We live by stories. We create stories. We live individually. All of us live stories. Now, the story in a commercial has to be succinct, precise, and quick. And it has to leave an impression. They're selling something. They really want you to buy. They need your support. They need what's in your wallet. Now, there's two commercials that really stand out as our all-time favorites, and we haven't gotten sick of watching yet. You know, the one is for the car commercial where the guy turns into, you know, like the 1980s disco guy. I'm in control. You know the guy I'm talking about? He's wearing the platform shoes. It's almost like he's channeling some sort of inner sense that he can really relate to because he's that good. Or the other one that really sticks out is the auto insurance one, where the guy, mayhem, you know, he rolls out in front of cars and creates mayhem. He crashes limbs off of trees. He looks sort of like Michael Douglas, you know, the actor who's actually from Coriopolis. I don't know if you guys knew that. He went to St. Joseph's Catholic School in Corey. I think that's a perfect analogy for life. Mayhem, it can happen anytime, you know? It can happen to any one of us. We've got to be prepared. You better look out, but still you're not in control of it because you don't know what's going to happen. And it could be bad. It could be disastrous. Well, it sort of can be an analogy for life in a lot of ways. But look now at this gospel that we've got. It's a gospel story. It's very short. It reads quickly. It's very succinct, concise, and to the point. And I'm not being facile or derogatory when I compare this particular gospel to a commercial, but it has all the best qualities of telling a story, to convince us of something. In this terms, what we are asked to be convinced of is something for our own benefit, for our own welfare, personally and corporately. Jesus oftentimes, when he's talking to either his disciples or the multitudes, can be very confusing at times. His parables, for instance, you know, can leave us wondering, what was he talking about? Or there's in certain times the Gospels are going, he leaves the apostles absolutely dumbfounded, like, what did he just say? I don't get it. This one happens to be, like I said, clear, concise, direct. There's a certain economy to it, and it's very precise. It's a prayer for us. Now just think about the magnitude of that. The Lord living God praying for us, humbling himself. You know, this is the author of creation, praying for us, humbling himself to that level. Now, what is he trying to tell us? What does he want to convince us of? What direction does he want to point us to? He loves us. This gospel story is taking place right before he's going to be crucified. So he's trying to impart and be very emphatic about his wisdom. His desire, His love for us. There's two key words in this gospel that stick out. Abide, which means dwelling. It means relationship. It implies a giving and a take, a tenderness of abiding. He abides in us. He wants us to abide in Him. That's pretty profound. Again, the living God asking us to do that, to participate with Him on that level, a relational level. The other key word, the key topic of this entire gospel story is love. And I grew up in the 60s, and I remember All You Need Is Love. The love generation. I got a ponytail. Show you I was, and I do remember a lot of it too, by the way. Well, so let's not labor that. That's why it took me 23 years to be a priest. Too much confession. I have to tell you that I really honestly I've struggled with this word love. All you need is love, because when you put it in the context of that, the intentions probably were very, very good, but I've always regarded it as a cliche. I have to say that. I have. But when you look at in the light of this particular text, this gospel, it really is true. All you need is love. And it's very, very difficult for us to do. It's something, I can hear Raj Wood's voice saying, we don't do very well. We really don't. We don't love one another very well. We try. And our intentions are good, but we just don't do it very well. And I can think of, praying here, receiving communion, asking for forgiveness, receiving forgiveness, but I'll tell you, I'll bet you dollars to donuts, as soon as I walk outside that door, and I know I've been blessed, I've been forgiven, I get a glimmer of God's love for me, I'll go out there, one step out the door, and I'll spoil it. Because that's what we do. We don't want to. We don't mean to, I don't think. It's just part of the way that this existence is. But the graciousness, and it comes back to the text that's in our lesson today, is that God loves us in spite of ourselves. His love is so overwhelming, so powerful, that all we have to do is abide in Him. And then we try again. And that's quoting Raj Woods, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. All we need is love. Let's practice it. Let's try as best we can to love one another as Christ loved us. Amen.